first thing when I walked in, there's a big poster, and one of the things was "Win the Day," and that caught my eye immediately because I'm a softball coach in Woosaki, and one of my sayings one year was "Win the day." Win the day in the classroom, win the day with relationships with your parents, your friends, you know, your teammates, win the day. And that was what they're all about. They are so proud of, and they should be, they've gone over 1 million hours without an accident. And the two people, this Misty and George, they're just regular employees, but they're in charge of safety. And they started out at the ground floor, and they, you know, people, the other workers come to them and they say, okay, what can we do better? This is what we're going to set up to do. This is how we're going to make it better. And it's just outstanding.
Out on the floor, they have it set up so there is almost zero lifting. They said most of our injuries and loss of worker hours is because of heavy lifting. They have hoists and crane, everything all over, everywhere. So anytime they need to lift something, they go over and grab a thing, hook it on, zzz, lift it up, push it out, you know, so there's no heavy lifting.
People come in with a different view of what manufacturing is, and then they leave and they have high turnover. So she goes, could you go back and tell people the good, the bad, the ugly? So I guess I'll tell you from my perspective what the good, the bad, the ugly is. The place smells amazing because it's just like, everything just smells so clean. It was controlled temperature, controlled pressure. So it was super clean. It was never too hot, never too cold. And I like the fact that the people in the office came from the floor. So if that's where you eventually wanted to go, that's fine. They looked at innovative things like how to stop boredom.
There is, you know, a blend of technology. Every part they work on, every item they work on, they have to swipe in on that part. And each task actually has programmed what's the amount of time it's supposed to have. So then different departments, this is how they earn their bonuses, is if they're like under or over, or so every item has a time attachment, and then every worker is tracked how much time you've spent doing certain tasks.
When the mass spec machines were running their tests, and it's pretty much put the sample in and let the machine go, and one of the things that was interesting me was then one friend, Russ, that he lets the machine run it, and then via his phone at night he gets a little email that says, hey, my test is done and this is what I found. And so he says I can either ignore it or I can get up in the middle of the night and go in and tweak that side of it.
And everybody in the plant seemed to be happy. They knew I was there. They were happy to be there. They enjoyed their jobs. And what was nice also I noticed is that you could move up through the company. If you like wanted to try to do, if you're just an operator on a machine, you can work up to being a technician. You can work up to being a certified. And then as you work up through those different things, let's say you decided you had a strong interest and you wanted to try out, you wanted maybe to get into the lab and things like that. There are some people that were in the lab, in the spectrometer lab, that didn't have necessarily the certification, but what they had was the experience and the knowledge. And they were able to get their job because of what they knew, not necessarily what schooling they had gone through.
They encourage people to learn any job path that they want to, either linear or in a broad sense. If they want to learn the whole company and go into management one day, they encourage their employees to do that. They do offer education there, and they will pay for additional education. they will take people right out of high school. They don't think that you have to go off and get a degree to be successful in their business, although if you do go off and get something in mechanical engineering or in accounting, that's helpful, but they don't insist upon it.
And talked with different buyers, so they have different levels of buyers, and just about how they work their way up. Some of the buyers were, their degrees, one had sports management, and he just got into purchasing and loves being there and has worked his way up throughout the years. And so just the different avenues of getting there. Some have worked in purchasing for different corporations and things like that as well.
It was so different than what I envisioned manufacturing to be. It was like not doing the same thing over and over. It was so much variety. And that's one of the things I will share with my kids. If they're interested in looking into that, it's like, no, if you're looking for variety of doing something, you go there. If you work in a department and they post union jobs around, it's like if you want to jump to a new area or a new job, they're going to give you a chance. Give it a try. And if you don't like it, if you're there, I think it was like a week or 2 weeks, and it's like, well, no, if I don't like that, they'll let you back to your other job.
Another thing they do, which is awesome with their new employees, is they do personality profile assessments and they do skills assessments. And all of these are recorded in the employee files that are accessible to the employees online, so that HR can match up the employees with personality types that are going to be complementary to work with, and with skills, and they work with the employees for skills path, because they can start out as someone low on the totem pole and choose a career path, and all of the skills that they attain are tracked in these online employee files, which is, to me, awesome and organized and very supportive.